Hey guys, Matt from Just Wrench It here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about these Maddox spring compressors from Harbor Freight. Now, you get two pieces in a set. You see these laying here on the table. Also, there's another set in this box. I thought I would need two sets. Turns out that I didn't. Still not sure if I'm going to keep these yet or not, but I do want to go over these with you because we ran into an issue where the spring got uncompressed on its own, so to speak. And with the spring compressor set that we had, we were not able to compress the spring enough to get it back on the strut. So, what we were using were these. These are some obviously American-made, pretty good quality spring compressors. But even with three of them, they didn't have the travel distance. And the way you have to adjust them, you see there's a pin through the thread on this for this nut. So that's static. It doesn't move. And then on this side is where you actually have your adjustment. So even with all three of those and sitting there working around the spring trying to get it compressed, we weren't able to. So I ran to Harbor Freight and I grabbed these. Now, usually when I replace shocks, I do the whole thing if it's available. My buddy, for whatever reason, went with just the strut, so we had to do the spring. I've seen these before, and I guess, you just never really see me pass by. Okay, it's a Harbor Freight tool. I am very impressed at the quality of these spring compressors. First off, it has these pins. They're kind of like a safety lock, so to speak. Once you get it onto the spring, you can put these in a forward position, and they will lock in there and keep the spring compressor on the spring for the most part, barring any catastrophic failures. So that's a nice feature. The next thing that I noticed is there's a lot bigger thread piece on this than like a normal nut. It's almost about double the size of a normal nut, so you have a lot of surface area to grab on, which is nice. The top one is over thread, right? It's bored out. It slides freely up and down the shaft. The bottom one is actually threaded, so you only have the one side to adjust here, and then you're gonna start compressing it. It is so much easier than these ones that we were attempting to use, this old prehistoric set here that we were trying to use. So I do want to say, guys, if you're doing any suspension work or you're planning on replacing your struts, these were quick, they were easy, they made the job go fast, they got us out of a pinch, and they're only about, I want to say it was like $31. Obviously, I used the 20% off coupon on them, but for like 31 bucks, $60 if you happen to want two sets of them, it's really not a bad deal. And they work very, very well. They're thick steel. I didn't have any issues. No buckling, no damage to the threads anywhere. Also, before I forget, there were some clearance issues on this because of the way the spring's shaped and how towards the top they start to taper in a little bit. Trying to get that whole spring compressed, we ran into clearance issues using these. We weren't able to get it the adjustments the way we wanted to, or the threads were rubbing on another section of the spring. With these Harbor Freight spring compressors, we didn't have that issue at all. They seem to be spaced out well enough and easily adjusted from one side to where we just didn't have that issue at all. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I will say, for those that follow the channel religiously, so to speak, I do have my Patreon set up. The link is in the description below. The lowest tier I set at $1, even though they advise against that. But there are some other tiers. I do plan on making some more content exclusively for Patreon. But it's just another way that you can help support the channel. Every little bit helps, and will get us hopefully where we need to be in the near future. So that's it for today, guys. Take a look at these spring compressors. I'll see if I can find them on Amazon or some other source for you guys that don't have a Harbor Freight close. And yeah, get out there and just wrench it, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.